Forgot to hit record. So entering data, picking up where we left off, entering a frequency chart into a graphing calculator. To do a frequency table, look at your overall data, find the lowest value. Is it? No 6.5, 7? Find the highest value. Read. What's the highest value? 10. Is there one bigger than 10? Nope. 10. By the way, the fancy word for this is the range of the data. From 7 to 10, the range is spread out over 3 hours. New word of the day, range. What we're going to do is we're going to create a table, and our first is going to be 7 hours, and then it says it goes to the nearest 0.5 hours, so we'll put 7.5 hours here, 8.0, 8.5, 9.0, 9.5, and 10. Why did I start with 7, Joel? Because that's my lowest value. How did I know to stop at 10? That's my highest value. And all I'm going to do is very quickly, I need to shrink this down so I can get this all onto one page. I'm going to put hash marks, like when you're counting with little tick marks. So 19, 18.5. Start filling in a little tally chart here. 17, 17. I'll do this quietly. You can do it on your own because you need to know how to do this. 10, 7, 2 8s. And you guys learned the trick in elementary school that when you do 4 lines, a slash through it makes it a 5, so it's easier to count. Feel free to bring that trick back. And I don't try and go in order, Alyssa. I just go first one, just start reading across. Like I don't try going, I'll find all the 8s, I'll find all, I'll lose track. Oh, Nicole, how many pieces of data were there? Read what you read at the very beginning. How many students were surveyed? 20. So, you know what? 1 plus 3 is 4, 8, 13, 17, 18, 19, 20. I got them all. Quick way to check. Add up your tally. Better add up the number of pieces of data. Frequency is this translated to numbers. 1, 3, 4, 5, 4, 2, 1. So this is how, if they give you a bunch of data and they say go from a frequency to create a frequency chart, Tanner, do a quick tally. By the way, can you tell me right now what the mode is? Which one is the most common? Gotta be way more obvious to spot than when I just had it sitting there. Okay. What would the mean be? Well, that I don't know. I'd have to add them all up and divide by 20. I don't want to do that. What would the median be? Well, how many pieces were there, Nicole? 20. What's the middle of 20? Oh, this is Tanner's problem of even number of pieces of data. You know what? The middle of 20 is going to be halfway between 10 and 11. I can figure out where the 10 and 11th ones are because how many pieces of data have I used up here? 1. How many here? 4 in total. How many here? 8. Yes? How many here? You know what? The 10th and the 11th pieces are both 8.5s. The median would be 8.5. Yay! So a frequency chart, Cole, way better than just a bunch of data. But even that's too much work, Emma. I want to learn how to enter this into my calculator. So now, get your graphing calculators out. By the way, those of you that were away, Rachel and all the, here is the instructions on how to clear lists again. So here's how it's walking you through to get to the delete all. So if you forget, it's here, Joel, okay? But we've already done all that. What we are going to do is type the number of hours into list 1. So 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, and 10. So move your arrows around until you're in cell 1 of list 1 and type in that data. You've done it right, Sam, if you have a 7, 10. If your 7th piece of data is a 10, that means you didn't list any. Okay. We're going to type the frequencies in list 2. So what were the frequencies? I need to move this over just a tiny bit. 1, 7.5 had a 3, 8 had a 4, 5, 4, 2, 1. Do that. Use your arrow keys, go to list 2, cell 1, and then type in the frequencies. And then I'm going to pause. When you've got those typed in, just look up, and then I know that you've done typing. Is she typing? Are you awake? Okay. Couldn't tell whether you're typing or sleeping. Anybody not get that? Now is your chance to ask. I don't mind walking around. Alyssa, we're okay? Yep. So that's how you enter the data. First thing as, by the way, we could have typed this into list 3 or list 4, but I usually put them side by side. It's a little easier. What we need to do now is we want to do some calculations. How do I do calculations? Which of these menus do you think does calculations? Calc. So press F2, and that brings up this screen. We okay there? Yes or no? Because you keep looking over. We are good? Figured out? Okay, and then you press F2 to get to the calc menu. Yeah? So now it says 1 var, 2 var, reg, and set. Anytime you enter data before you do any calculations, because your calculators are stupid, you have to tell it what your data is. You have to set the data. You have to set things up. What's set? Which of these do you think is set? F6. Okay? Sam, we're not doing any 2-variable stuff this year, so you can always kind of ignore the bottom 3 there. But it's saying, okay, where did you type your data? What list? Where did we type the number of hours? What list? List 1. Now, if yours doesn't say list 1, mine does, you would press F1 and type 1. So if mine had said, for example, list 2, oh, no, I want it to be list 1, I go F1, list 1. Down arrow. Where did we type the frequencies in list number what? 2? So how would I change that to list 2, do you think? Which one is the list button? Oh, F1? Okay, F2. By the way, if you only have one of everything, if it's not a frequency chart, you hit F1, and it's, oh, I'm assuming there's one of everything. Here, I'm going to go F2. What list did we type our frequency in? List 2. Execute. To back out of any menu, to exit any menu, to exit any menu, what do you think we hit? Exit, okay? Back up 1. So let me pause. Is there anybody that can't get back to this screen? You've done all the hard stuff. Now we're going to tell it to do the math. And you may remember, Sam, I said we're not doing any 2-variable stats this year. You know what we're doing? 1-variable stats, F1. If you hit F1, each of these means something. Now, those of you that were away last class, let me again re-emphasize, you need to watch the lesson from last day because it was the intro to all of this. But who remembers what this was? X bar. That's the mean. Okay. In our notes, Let's scroll down, 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 down. Now, you should get the following values. I made a typo when I typed this up. My mean is incorrect. I must have had the wrong data here. So instead of 8.475, can you just cross this out on your original? It's 8 point, do we all get 8.45? Is that correct? Yeah, sorry. I fixed it on my original again now. So let's translate this. Oh, and to bring up more on the screen, that's why that down arrow is there, but let's translate all this. What's the mean? So the symbol for mean on your calculator, X bar, is 8.45. What's the mode? We did already get it from the chart, but for what it's worth, oh, mode. The most common one, you said it was what? 8.5. Abbreviation for mode, mod. Where do you think the median appears? Adrian, right there. For median. All right, let's take a guess here. Let's use our brains. It says min x is 7. What do you think min x means? Huh? The smallest data point. And Alyssa, what do you think max x, which is 10 in this case, means? Yep. Hey, Nicole, n equals what? What do you think n means? Where was the 20 appearing? The number, hey, that's why they used n, of data points. Come on. Okay. So this is how we type this into our graphing calculator. Can you do these by hand? Yes. Will I make you do these by hand, Rachel? No. And I have to be honest. On Friday, I will convert all of you into not wanting to do this by hand. On Friday, we're going to learn something called the standard deviation. For 10 pieces of data, it requires 30 separate calculations. Or your calculator can do it all for you. I'll teach you how to do it by hand. I'm a nerd. But then we'll use the technology. Joel, read the last sentence to me. Can you open your workbook, please, to page 199, page 199. If anybody does not have a workbook here, I will loan you one to follow along with, and I will also give you the frowning of a lifetime. We'll talk about populations or samples of the population. You guys, as a class, are a sample of the population of Pitt Meadow Secondary School. Won't be put away. Mean, median, and mode. So here's where it goes again into the mean, the median, and the mode. The key thing for you folks is there are two symbols for the mean. That and that. Your calculator uses X bar. Unfortunately, the book is going to use this one the whole time, because we're going to assume that we're finding the average of a population, which is really bad math, because how often can you survey everybody on Earth? Not very often, but we're going to, just to keep the math simple, say, let's always assume we got the whole population. Your calculators know that's bad math, and that's why they're going to say X bar. You have to memorize that that means the mean. No pun intended on the meaning. So, example 1. The data below represents the time taken to the nearest minute for a high school student to drive to school, page 200, for a high school student to drive to school on each of the last 10 school days. We'll do this one by hand. says find the mean. So to find the mean, symbol either X bar or little Greek mute, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divide by 10 and add them up. 11 plus 10 plus 19 plus 16 plus 15 plus 14 plus 13 plus 12 plus 17 plus 15. See, this is where I would prefer to, this is where I'll try and convert you, Emma, into using the technology, because to add all of these up, am I going to have to type in every one of these numbers? Then, Emma, why wouldn't I type them into a list and then I can manipulate them? But for what it's worth, there are some people that are like, I don't want to use that. Fine. So how do I get back to the regular math menu? Rachel, we're going to hit menu to get back to this screen. And then the regular math menu is run math, menu number 1. Jacob, is there more than one number on the top? Oh, bracket. 11 plus 10 plus 19 plus 16 plus 15 plus 14 13 plus 12 plus 17 plus 15, close bracket, divided by 10. What's the average driving time? Do you guys get 14.2, or did I make a typo? 14.2. Most common mistake, by the way, is typos. There's the mean. What's the mode? Which one appears the most often? Come on, which one appears the most often? Yeah, 15. The fact that both of these are close suggests to me that they're both fairly accurate values, that there's no outliers skewing the data around like crazy. We're going to skip example 2, example 3. I like example 3, I like example 3, I like example 3. Example 3 says this. If the mean of the data of 10 and 4 and 7 and 12 and 9 and 4 and a mystery number and 6 worked out to be 7, what is the mystery number? Now, this is what this is really saying. How many data pieces are there? Count them, including the X. Sorry? 8? Apparently, when we added everything up and divided by 8, the answer was 7. See how we're trying to get an equation here? Oh, 10 plus 4 plus 7 plus 12 plus 9 plus 4 plus X plus 6. That worked out to 7. I like this question because now instead of getting the data and say find the mean, it's kind of a nice brain teaser. Chelsea, here's the mean. Go backwards, find the missing piece of data. The nerd within me says, oh, cool. Any suggestions what I would want to do now if I was trying to solve for X? Yeah. We're going to eventually get the X by itself. We really can't do that right now. It looks too ugly. Yeah. I'm going to do that in a second as well. I'm going to times by. I am going to cross multiply here eventually. There's something I just don't like here. I'll give you a hint. The phrase I'm looking for ends in like terms. David, gather like terms. Do I not have a bunch of numbers there? You know what? Why don't you add up 10 and 4 and 7 and 12 and 9 and 4 and 6? What is that? What is that? What is that? They're small numbers. You can try to do it in your head too, but what is 10 plus 4 plus 7 plus 12 plus 9 plus 4 plus, maybe I can't, 14, 21, 33, 42, 46, 52? Yeah, okay. So I get this. 52 plus X over 8 equals 7. Which, does that not look way nicer? How will I solve this? Something we've been using all year long. cross multiply. Isn't not one fraction? Oh, sorry. I'm not writing that. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Isn't it? But it is one fraction equals one fraction. And we can cross multiply. It's going to be 7 times. Oh, let's make a little note here. It's going to be 7 times 8, which is 56. And it's going to be 1 times 52 because there's a 1 on the bottom here. Yes, Joel? 1 times 52 plus x. You know what 1 times 52 plus x is? Just plain old 52 plus x. Yes? You with me? Joel, in your head, 52 plus what is 56? What does x have to be? By the way, Sam, I'm actually not even bothering to get the x by itself. I'm saying if I reduce this equation to its fundamental points, I can almost always just intuitively say, it's got to be a 4. The mystery data point was a 4. You'll see that somewhere in the future. Now let's get to using our calculators again. Turn the page. Okay. So it says this. The data below represents the number of touchdowns thrown by Jason, the high school quarterback, during his high school football career. It says calculate the mean, the median, and the mode. You know what? Let's use the technology. So Suzanne already did a frequency chart for us. Let's bring out our graphing calculator. Rachel, how did I get to the stat menu? Do you remember? Exit. Oh, that didn't do anything. Oh, menu. And then 2. Does yours all say graph calc? By the way, graph stands for graph. Graph, calc, test. Intra stands for interpolate. Distri just stands for distribution. Says that? Do you all have lists there? Let's get rid of them. Oh yeah, F6, delete all, yes. Arrow sideways, delete all, yes. Clear your lists? And then can you go back to, hit F6 again, go back to this menu, the math menu. Try typing on your own, both of these in. I'm going to freeze the screen. You should end up with that. One of my rows is off the screen, obviously. Now what? Now what? Calculate. We want to do a calculation, don't we? So calc. Oh, before I do anything, now that I want to calculate, what do I have to do? Set the table, set things up. I'm trying to give you ways to remember what to hit. So you've got to set things up. Did I type the data in list 1? Yeah. Did I type the frequency in list 2? Yeah. Later on, we'll start using other lists. In fact, we'll do one question where we use 4 lists, because that way we can compare 2 sets of data, and we don't want to have to erase them or retype them. So we're good? Ah, Rachel, how do I get out of this one? Yeah. Cool, now what? 1 bear. There we go. What's the average number of, if we were looking at this guy's career average, what's his average number of touchdown passes per game? Tanner. 1.421, 1.4. So, mean, 1.4. Oh. What's the median? Oh, not on my screen yet. By the way, Tanner, how many games did he play? See it? 19. Gotta be. It's the number of pieces of data. Median, you know what? 1. What's the mode? If you look at the chart, what's the mode? There's 2 of them, is there not? Paige, which ones? How does my calculator tell me that? If I scroll down, it says a mode of 1, a mode of 2, and the number of modes. How many modes are there? It's called a bimodal distribution, if you want the fancy word. Most of the time, he threw 1 or 2 touchdowns. Once in a while, he got shut out. And twice, he had 2 really good games. Okay? So it says, show how Suzanne can use the data in the frequency table. We just did. Page 202. Who already had a graphing calculator in this class before I handed them out? Was it in this class? You just bought that one, though. Who had the TI? Okay, my other class. I got another student who's got a TI calculator. These are the instructions for the TI calculator. That's why I typed up my own notes for the Casios. So it says, using the stat feature, these are not the proper instructions. If you try following these, you'll freak out. But let's try solving a question or two. Oh, no. Never mind. We're done. What's your homework? Number 1, you can do it by hand or you can do it using the technology. I don't care. Number 3, this one you have to do by hand because you're finding the mystery value. Well, no. So here, we did this last class, but quick remembrance. Clear all your lists. Just type this in list 1. And since you want each of them only to appear once, what you would do when you go to your set, instead of list 2, you would say, it's a frequency of 1. There's a bunch of invisible 1s in the right-hand column because it's not a frequency table. Well, if it's not a frequency table, what you're really saying is each one appeared once. Okay, so I would go really quickly, exit, delete all, yes, delete all, yes. If I was doing number 1, I would go 8.6, 7.3, 10.7, etc., 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 etc. Then when I went calc, I would go set, there's only 1 of everything. Does that make sense? That's why they have that option there for, as soon as I go to frequency, the little 1 appears there as an option. So 1, 3. 5D and 5E. Okay. 6, 7. Now, we used a frequency table. This is a histogram, but how many had 0 cavities? 6. How many had 1 cavity? 5. So that's also, you can read it from the graph, just like the frequency chart. So number 9, 10, 11. Okay. Let me pause the video first of all. Let me find my error. There it is. Oh, that's not what I want, Mr. Dueck. Let me pause the video first of all. Right click.